You know that familiar golden arch, right? The smell of fries? It's McDonald's, and you probably think you know the whole story.
But what's really going on behind the scenes? Especially with the economy shifting like it is.
Exactly. What strategic moves are they making? That's what this deep dive is all about. McDonald's second quarter 2025 financial results.
Yeah, we've been digging through their investor call, the earnings release, and those pretty dense SEC filings.
We want to pull out the key insights for you, cut through the sort of corporate speak and all the analyst questions.
Our mission really is to help you understand the surprising stuff, the key strategies shaping this massive brand.
Think of it as your shortcut,
hmm
to get what's truly driving their business. Okay, let's unpack this.
So the big picture first, Q2 2025, how'd they do globally?
Pretty strong, actually. Global system-wide sales were up over 6%, and that's in constant currency, so taking out the exchange rate effect.
Okay, over 6%. And comparable sales, so stores open at least a year.
Those were up nearly 4% globally.
Right, and what's really impressive there, especially with how tough the industry is right now,
Yeah.
is that they actually got positive, comparable guest counts globally, more people walking in.
That's huge. It's not just higher prices. People are actually coming. It shows a real resilience, doesn't it? Staying relevant when people are watching their spending.
It really does. And the engine behind this, they keep pointing to their main strategy, accelerating the arches.
Right, accelerating the arches. That focuses on what? Value marketing.
Exactly. Value and affordability, strong marketing, good menu items, and just running the restaurants well. World-class execution, they call it.
Okay, so if that's the foundation, how does it actually look in different parts of the world, especially on the value front?
Yeah.
Because it's not the same everywhere, right?
No, not at all. And that's where it gets really interesting. Internationally, in the markets they operate themselves, the IOM group comparable sales were up a solid 4%.
4%.
Yeah.
And every market was positive.
Every single one. And then their licensed markets, the IDL group, did even better,
Yeah.
over 5.5% growth there.
Wow, which markets led that?
Japan was particularly strong, but really positive results across all geographies in that IDL segment.
That international growth is pretty remarkable. So what's the secret sauce there? Germany, France, you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
What are they doing right?
Well, it really boils down to a clear focus on value, affordability.
Okay.
They've got these strong, everyday, affordable price menus, EDAP, they call them.
EDAPI. Got it.
Yeah. Items usually under, say, $4 or £4 or €4. And they pair those with really compelling meal bundles.
So individual cheap items and good value meals.
Exactly. And their scores for value and affordability, they've gone up in most major international markets.
Okay, give me an example. Germany.
Germany's a great case study. They have a clear EDAP menu, the McSmart snacks, plus strong meal bundles. They call it a 1-2 value punch.
Oh, two punch. Okay.
And they didn't just discount. They launched the Chicken Big Mac full price, not a deal, and it set record sales.
Huh. So innovation still works, even when focused on value.
Right. And the result? Germany gained market share, beat competitors on sales and guest counts, even with high inflation there.
Impressive. And France, similar story.
Pretty similar, new ED bot form, stuff under $3. They also brought in the Big Arch Burger, and it became their best-selling large burger.
Now, what I find fascinating is, you said inflation's high in Europe, right? Beef prices up 20%,
Yeah, significant inflation.
but the franchisees kept price hikes low, like single digits low.
Exactly. They've been really prudent, very careful. They're clearly prioritizing being the value leader, and, well, it's paying off.
It seems like the competitive landscape helps them there, too, maybe, compared to the U.S.
I think that's a big part of it. It's maybe a bit easier for them to stand out and offer what feels like good value internationally than it is back in the U.S.
Which brings us right back home. Because, yeah, while they're doing great internationally, the U.S. story, it's a bit more complex, isn't it? A tougher challenge, maybe.
Absolutely. It's a different picture. U.S. comparable sales were up 2.5%.
Okay, 2.5%, which, they point out, still beats competitors.
It does. But the overall traffic in fast food QSR, it's still challenging.
Yeah.
And they specifically called out double-digit declines in visits from low-income consumers.
Oof. Double digits. That's a major flag.
It really highlights a tough economic reality for a lot of people.
And getting those lower income folks back is so important because they tend to visit more often, right?
That's the key. But the data shows their real incomes are down. There's anxiety, unease.
So they cut back. Skip breakfast maybe, or just eat at home instead.
Exactly. So what's McDonald's doing specifically to try and, win them back?
Well, they mentioned the $5 meal deal. It's been a year now. still seems to be doing okay.
Right, the anniversary of that.
And the McValue platform, like the buy one, add one for $1 deal,
Yeah.
that's showing some success, incrementally.
Okay.
Plus, snack wraps. They're back, nationally advertised at $2.99. And apparently the franchisees voted to keep advertising them through year end.
Ah, that's telling. If the franchisees want to keep paying for the ads, it must be working.
Yeah. But there's still this sticking point, isn't there?
Right.
Around the regular menu prices.
Exactly. That's a key insight they shared. People's perception of value is really shaped most by the core menu prices.
So when a combo meal creeps up over, say, $10,
Yeah, that hits the perception hard negatively. They said they're working really closely with the U.S. franchisees on this. It's a big hurdle.
and then there's the loyalty program. It sounds like a bit of a paradox.
Oh,
Well,
so?
the numbers are kind of wild. U.S. loyalty members go from visiting like 10.5 times a year before joining
Okay.
to 26 times a year after they join.
Wow, 26 visits. That's a huge jump in frequency, so it definitely works for the members.
It absolutely does. But here's the catch.
Uh-huh.
That program plus the McValue deals, they only cover about half the U.S. business right now.
Only 50%.
Hmm. So it's like great for the members, but it's not big enough yet to make up for the traffic declines from everyone else, especially those low-income consumers we talked about.
Right, so that raises a big strategic question, doesn't it?
Yeah, how do they bridge that gap between the super engaged loyalty folks and the rest of the customers who maybe aren't feeling the value as much?
Do they try to get more people into loyalty, or does that risk creating, like, two different McDonald's experiences? It's a tough balance.
It really is. Okay, so value is obviously critical, a big focus. But what else are they doing? Menu innovation, marketing.
Huh.
How are they keeping things fresh?
Oh, they're definitely pushing hard there, especially on beef and chicken.
Okay, beef first, the best burger thing.
Yeah, that global rollout is moving fast. Over 80 markets now, aiming for almost everywhere by 2026. The whole point is just, hotter, juicier, tastier burgers. Simple goal, big execution.
Simple goal, hard to do consistently everywhere.
Yeah.
And chicken. You mentioned that's a huge opportunity.
Massive. It's actually a bigger global market than beef and growing faster.
Really? Bigger than beef?
Globally, yes. And McDonald's wants to grab more of it, aiming to boost their global chicken market share by 100 basis points by 2026.
Okay, so what's working on the chicken front?
We've seen successes like in Australia. They had a hot honey chicken campaign with McCrispy and McSpicy. They also made McWings permanent there. All drove share gains.
And the wings, interesting.
And China's growth has been heavily driven by chicken, too. In the U.S., we got the McCrispy strips recently, and of course, the snack wraps are back.
So chicken is definitely a core strategic pillar for growth.
Absolutely. And don't forget beverages.
Right. The Cosmics learnings. What's happening there?
They're gearing up for a test. About 500 U.S. restaurants, I think. Expanded lineup, cold coffee, fruity drinks, crafted sodas, even energy drinks.
Taking what they learned from that separate Cosmics brand test.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what's really interesting here, it's not just about discounts. The big play for McDonald's is offering full margin drinks.
So not just dollar sodas.
Right. They can compete on price against, say, fancy coffee shops, but still make good money on these drinks. It adds to the average check without needing a discount.
Smart. A way to boost sales without hurting that core value perception. And what about marketing? They seem to be good at creating buzz.
Yeah, their One McDonald's Way marketing approach seems effective. Look at the Minecraft movie campaign.
Oh yeah, that was everywhere.
It was their largest global campaign ever. Over 100 markets involved.
Wow.
Huge boost to guest counts. The collectibles sold out early. It really cements them as like a culturally relevant brand, part of people's lives.
The routines, favorite moments, it's more than just food, it's tapping into culture. Minecraft and McNuggets, who knew?
It seems to work.
Okay, so beyond menu and marketing, they talk a lot about the 4Ds. Digital, delivery, drive-through development. Let's touch on those operational strategies. Digital first.
Yeah. Digital is huge. The loyalty program we talked about, it's scaling fast. Over 185 million active users now across 60 markets.
185 million active users. And the goal is?
Ambitious. 250 million by 2027. And get this, those loyalty members, they account for about $33 billion in sales over the last year.
33 billion.
Okay.
Loyalty is serious business. What else in digital?
They're ready on arrival tech. It uses geofencing, so the restaurant knows when you're getting close for your mobile order pickup.
Right, so the food is actually ready when you walk in.
Exactly. They say it's cut wait times by over 50% in the U.S., sometimes basically eliminated them. It's rolling out globally in their top markets.
That's a big deal for customer experience. And I heard something about Edge computing with Google. Sounds fancy.
It is pretty advanced. They're partnering with Google on it. Think of it as putting more computing power right in the restaurant instead of relying only on the cloud.
Okay, so smarter restaurants.
Essentially, yes. It's the foundation for their next-gen restaurant tech, powering AI, connected equipment, that kind of thing.
And the benefits are?
Hopefully less downtime, better experience for customers and crew, better food quality, maybe even cost savings. It's still early days, they say.
Early days, but it's live already.
In hundreds of U.S. restaurants, yeah. And deploying internationally now.
And they're also upgrading things internally, right? Their own systems.
Big time. Moving off hundreds of old legacy systems onto standardized global platforms for finance, HR, everything, plus setting up these global business services centers.
And the point of all that internal work is?
Efficiency, basically. Make employees more productive, speed up innovation, and eventually save money on G&A general and administrative costs.
Got it. So all this tech stuff, the internal changes, it sounds expensive.
Oh, it is. They're very clear this is a significant investment period running through 2026, maybe early 2027.
So the big cost savings won't show up right away.
Not the full benefits, no. That comes later. And it's worth noting they've already spent $580 million on restructuring charges since 2023 just to streamline things.
$580 million.
Yeah, that's for accelerating the organization, things like reorganizing, changing systems, and they expect another $300 million in those kinds of charges in 2025. It's a major overhaul.
Wow, okay. And the last development, building new restaurants, are they still growing fast?
Very aggressively. The target for 2025 is about 2,200 gross new restaurants globally.
2,200, that's a lot.
It translates to just over 4% unit growth, almost 1,800 net new restaurants after closures, and about 1,000 of those new ones are planned for China alone.
1,000 in China. They're still betting big there.
Definitely. And the longer-term vision, 50,000 restaurants total by the end of 2027.
50,000, that'd be.
The fastest growth spurt in their entire history. They're confident new stores give good returns, and the development pipeline is strong.
Okay, so let's pull back and look at the overall financial health. Despite, consumer pressure, inflation, especially in Europe, they seem pretty resilient.
Remarkably so. The numbers back that up. For the quarter, nearly $4 billion in restaurant margin.
$4 billion from the restaurants, mostly franchises driving that.
Primarily, yes. That margin was up about 5% in constant currency. Their adjusted operating margin for the first half was almost 47%.
Nearly 47% operating margin. That's very healthy.
Extremely. And they expect to stay in the mid to high 40s for the full year.
And the outlook for other stuff, admin costs, interest.
G&A expected around 2.2% of system-wide sales for the year. Interest expense up about 4%. Tax rate between 20 and 22%. Pretty standard stuff there.
We should also acknowledge, though, the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. That's still hurting sales, right?
Yes, definitely. It's having a negative impact on system-wide sales and revenue, particularly in those international developmental licensed markets. It's an expected headwind as long as the conflict continues.
Shows even McDonald's isn't immune to geopolitics.
Not at all. And another area they called out, which is really sensitive to the economy, is breakfast.
Right, you mentioned that earlier, people skipping breakfast. They said it's the weakest day part.
Weakest in the industry and the most economically sensitive. When consumers are stressed, breakfast is often the first thing to go, or they just eat at home.
So McDonald's is trying to boost that, advertising breakfast nationally.
Yeah, they're actively working to re-stimulate growth there. It just shows how even daily routines get hit by these bigger economic forces.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this all up. We've seen McDonald's using different playbooks, really one for international, one for the U.S., especially on value.
Yeah, contrasting strategies, plus that relentless push on menu innovation, beef, chicken, beverages.
And this huge commitment to the 4Ds digital, development, making the experience better, and just growing bigger.
They're really leveraging their massive scale and brand power to navigate what's definitely a complex global picture right now.
Adapting to changing demands, tough economic headwinds.
It's a fascinating case study in how a giant company tries to stay nimble.
So here's a final thought for you to chew on. As McDonald's keeps tweaking its value message and pours money into all this tech, what's the next unexpected place we might see them applying lessons, like those from Cosmix, to maybe redefine another part of our everyday dining?
That's a good question. Where else could those beverage or tech learnings pop up? Something to watch.